Hey everyone, Matthew J here today, talking about a book review. I just read the Celestine Prophecy, an amazing book, wonderful book. It's more like a spiritual book of talking on energy, human consciousness, you know, basically having more understanding in the world and life and our purpose and things, and how to keep our energy levels at their best, to be our best selves, to understand and figure out things in the world. So the book, basically, it's a story, and there's basically 9 insights throughout the book. So insights that, like, again, to follow, to give us some guidance and awareness in our lives and moving forward. So I'll go through just the 9 insights just so you have an understanding. I think they're all amazing. I'll just try to run through them quickly. I just have a list of them here, so I'll kind of read them off and give my description on each one of them. So the first one is meaningful coincidences. So eventually, and you can probably, if you have some awareness in your day-to-day life and over the years, there are always meaningful coincidences that, it's like people say everything happens for a reason. It's not that we can just leave our life in the hands of the world, but there are things that come to you, messages and people, things that happen that gives you the information, education that you need to go forward. So that's the first insight, to notice meaningful coincidences and then start to pan them together to understand, where you need to go next. The second insight is historical perspective, and basically this is just knowing where we've come off in the world. Like before, many years ago, it used to be ran by just religion and the battle between good and evil, and just following the morals or standards of what the church or a religion give you. We're moving forward, it's more of a combination of those morals, church, religion, whatever, plus science, plus spirituality, something like that. The third insight is subtle energy. And basically, this is energy is it's an undetected thing by science, but it forms the basis of all things, and we all know and can feel it. It's almost like gravity. And basically, human perception of energy starts with an increased awareness of beauty, is what they talk about. And that comes from people, animals, plants, ecosystems. They have a high level of energy, and becoming more aware of that energy, we begin to notice how we can give and receive energy. So we can receive it, if you go in the forest somewhere so beautiful, you can feel the energy, the harmony in an area like that, the beauty. And so, but basically, for us to be at our best point, to have complete clarity, our intellect's working perfectly, we need our energy to be complete and full. And you get that through love, basically, through the love of beauty and things like that. So you can get it through people when you're looking at them and loving them and truly having an appreciation for them. Animals, that's why some people are so fascinated in love of animals, like myself. Plants, like trees, plants, whatever, just looking at them, you can really recharge yourself. And that's because you're receiving the energy from them, and you can do the same thing to them. Number 4 is competition for energy. So this was so interesting to learn about. Was most humans' interactions are competing for energy, drawing it from others, protecting ourselves from others, attempting to draw from us. And so it's basically, manipulating energy from people. So this is they talk about, as I get into the next insight coming down, is when people are angry, intimidating to people, acting dumb, acting sad and needing attention. These are all ways to manipulate energy from people. That same way, that subtle energy, they're doing it in another way, where basically they're drawing it from other people. So being like sad and needing someone to come give you attention, that is you trying to recharge your energy through taking it through someone. So you're trying to get someone's attention, so then they give you that energy, that loving energy. It recharges yourself, but you're taking it from that person. Same with like anger, intimidation, interrogating, forcing people into a corner, or their energy. You're just you're taking it right from them, drawing it from them, breaking them down. And that's why people feel depleted and stuff after fights or verbal arguments, whatever it is. So that's a main thing to remember here. Number 5 is energy abundance. So basically, there is more than enough energy out there in the world. You don't need to take it from people, or like there's not enough to go around. There's tons to go around. You can acquire more even by like eating plants. This is why like vegans or different people feel so amazing, because when you eat like living things rather than like dead things or processed things, that doesn't have that energy in it that gives it to you. You know what I mean? So, and then also, so you can get it from plants, and then being in a loving state. And I started to talk about replacing everything with love, like just over these past few months. I have a video on it if you want to check it out. But when you have a sense of love and appreciation and gratitude, that's what creates that energy. That's what like gives you, again, intellect, physical energy, things happen in your favor, the meaningful coincidences. So it puts you at a higher state of vibration. And in the book, there's this quote here that I'm just reading. They say, love is not an intellectual concept or a moral imperative or anything else. It is a background emotion that exists when one is connected to the energy available in the universe, which of course is the energy of God. So basically that energy is like here for us to use to be connected with everything and to be in our best state, is what I kind of get from that. Number 6 is getting clear. So in order to be in a state of love with the world on a regular basis, we have to let go of patterns or of behavior we developed to take energy from others. So as I was saying, those ways people manipulate or take energy from others, that's what they're talking about here. Where like there's 4 different control dramas, as they call it, and they are patterns given to us like as we grow up from our parents, basically. So there are 2 active ones, which are called intimidation and interrogation. So those are ones like forcing out of people, putting them down, taking the energy through that way, and asking questions and then picking apart their answers. So like you just being very aggressive and like forcing energy out of them. And then the other 2 are passive control dramas, which one is aloofness. So creating an air of mystery that entices others to send energy. So it's like you act like you don't know, so people come and explain things to you, or like needing to clarify things for you. That's you manipulating them to give you energy too. And then the last one is poor me. So creating a sense that if others don't provide energy, something awful will happen to the controller. So acting like basically a victim in life, being sad, my life's like this. So then other people come to you like, oh, like it's okay, this will be all right. That's how you're gaining energy from them, and you're hurting the other person though. So we have to get clear from like which control drama we are. And we must understand our parents' control dramas that shape ours. So your parents are a certain one of those that make you a certain one. Usually it's the opposite one of what they are. And they talk about we must learn what meaning our parents' lives had for us, and how this determines our own development work. The things we would change about our parents individually and together are what we need to work in our own lives. So basically you see like how your parents are in those control dramas, see like kind of like who they are in the true essence of them, and then that will like give you an understanding of like who you are and what you're doing and trying to become in the future. So it just gives you better insight, because basically you're a leg from your parents. Even if you're completely different or whatever, there's an essence there that you are the next level basically spiritually to your parents. But you need to break those control dramas. You need to understand theirs and break your own, because that thing's not good for you. Because as we're going to talk about, you can give energy and receive energy at the same time if you're doing it in the correct way. So you're not draining their energy, you're not draining yours, you're both just sending and receiving, and that's the best way to be. So number 7 is using intuition. So when we're in touch with this energy, this loving state, clear of those control dramas I just talked about, and aware of questions that are relevant to this moment, our intuition will supply the answers needed. This is when people talk about intuition can give you answers and this and that, which is true when you're in the right state. So once we are aware of those answers, we only need to watch for meaningful coincidences to show us how to act on them. So again, when you're in touch with that energy, you know what your control drama is, and then you basically relinquish it, get rid of it. Then you start to ask questions of your life, of what you want, what you're trying to figure out now in life. And then when you're staying in that great loving state, sorry, I don't know why this is getting so dark. When you stay in that loving state, your intuition will push you towards the right things. You'll see people in the light. You're like, I should talk to that person, or that looks interesting to go there. And then you're going to just continue to get the next questions to ask, and then the answers will continue to follow. And just keep on following those meaningful coincidences that happen to you in life. That's that loving energy drawing you towards those things you need to go to. So relating to others is insight number 8. So you can relate to children completely if you give them the complete attention, you give them that loving state and complete attention. They talk about some other things about children here I won't get into. Your development can be blocked by being addicted to another person, like in relationships. If you're addicted to another person or keep on drawing that energy, that's what a lot of people do in their relationships with their husband, wife, spouse, whatever, is they need them there, they want them there, this and that, and that's you trying to take that energy from them. And you get into that addiction of needing to keep on draining that energy from them, and then eventually you're going to start fighting in life and problems are going to occur. So you never want to have an addiction to any person, because that addiction is just you trying to fill that energy in yourself always, but you're taking it from your loved one. Everyone who crosses us has a message for us. Other people's control dramas will break down if we name them and refuse to play a role in them. So you can shut down basically strangers' control dramas. Like if someone's an interrogator or intimidator, if you put them on spot, why are you yelling at me to get these answers? It will diffuse it and change it. We can go into more detail of that. Number 9 is conscious evolution. So this talks about basically the next insight is a vision of culture in the next millennium. So basically how we're going to be in the future. We're going to be more spiritually connected and getting these answers from people, these insights and these coincidences all happening from people, and eventually we'll start to that helps our evolution as people ourselves, and we're going to appreciate that so much more that we'll start to pay people to when someone gives you such great information or such insight or your next question or answer moving forward for your evolution, you will pay people. It says you should pay them for it, because you want to pay those people that gave you that great thing in your life. And basically eventually as things get so animated in life, that's where people will go, and that's how money will be exchanged, and things will be exchanged, and when there's no more jobs basically, and things will be much more abundant with everything. So such a great book. Like this thing, even with the energy, manipulating people, and like when you're in that loving state, you could be giving it to people and they could be receiving it when you're like truly loving and appreciating those people in the moment. And even that alone just taught me like how to be in relationships better, because it does change when you actually start to do that. The conversation and the relationship change completely. And when you know like how like you could be drawing people's energy from those dramas or whatever, you know that's draining them and that's hurting them. So once you change that again, the relationships change. The relationships are better. And then once you start to like have that loving state energy, you start to find the right people and things in life. So it's such an amazing book. This is part 1 of a 4-book series. I'm going to read the other ones coming soon. And you should definitely check it out. New York Times bestseller. Going to read a bunch of this guy's books. James Redfield. Amazing book. Check it out. I think that's it for now. There's probably questions, so ask me questions in the comment section. Obviously, I couldn't go into full detail on all these, but eventually I might do individual videos on more specific stuff here. But let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one.